There you go.
That is actually quite a good party trick.
Yeah, there you go.
I thought you were going to make something disappear.
No, only your wallet, you know. Check it, it's gone.
I think you're going to have to practice that one a bit more.
I don't know what Marika's party trick is. Did you
It's
do?
my face. I don't have one.
Well, Michael,
Bring me
Michael
along.
is my party trick.
your party trick.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't need your own party trick when Michael's in the room. Okay, so, I don't know. I mean, we've got to have a conversation here that people actually are interested in following.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what a typical conversation goes like between Ross and I.
Yeah.
Looks like me slapping my cheeks, him looking for his wallet. It's not anything you really want to watch. So we got to change it up a little bit.
Looking on with morbid curiosity.
And Michelle and I sit on
What
the
is
side and
this?
watch.
They're both gingers. One has lost his hair and a bit of his color.
Yeah.
No, you
One is
always
still
had
the
no
orange
color.
wine. That would be him. Some of you aren't laughing because you know you don't know that I'm a ginger. And that's hectic.
Because you're white now.
I'm bald and white.
You're wise. You're like
Oh, wise. I think you said
white,
white.
and wise. You're like the white Gandalf.
Okay. I like it.
Yes.
So, I mean, you guys, you came here from far afield. Marika, let's start with you. Because I know yours was a bit more of a zigzag.
Yeah. Do you
Go
want
back to the very beginning. Like, where were you born?
when I was born?
Like Timon said in The Lion King, so where are you from?
Okay, I'm from Germany. I was born in Munich. I went to school my whole life. And then when I was when I was 18, I met this guy. He came and he visited my sister and my brother-in-law. And we hung out. And then he texted me like a week or two later. And then we started texting. And he told me this later, but he was like, well, I didn't want to text you because I thought you would distract me from the Lord, obviously. But I'm like, well, I knew I wanted him to be my husband. So then he's like, no. I kept praying, like, God, no, I can't do this. I want to follow you and not be distracted by a woman. And then, but then he said, whenever he was in the presence, God was like, no, you're fine, keep dating her. So he was a good wingman. And Michael decided to be distracted. Yeah, and then we got married in Germany a year later, and then we moved to America. Back then I was doing an apprenticeship in high-end hotels in Munich, so I really like hospitality and making coffee and all those things. Please don't come to my house. No, I'm just kidding. Please do. And then I remember God was telling me to leave Germany and go to America and quit my apprenticeship. And it was 6 months before my whole apprenticeship was over. And I was like, God, I'm German. Come on, please don't do this to me.
It was a three.
Because Germans finish things, okay? We start, we finish, we do it really well.
3 years, right? It was a 3-year
Yes, it
apprenticeship.
was a 3-year apprenticeship, and I quit it 6 months before it was done. But I remember Abraham came into my mind, and it felt like the story felt like God was inviting me to leave everything behind to follow him. And I told God, I said, if you bring this word up again, I will go, but otherwise I will finish. And I didn't tell this to Michael, but the next day he came, and I don't remember what verse it was in the Bible, but it was something like, he came to me and he said, Marika, for some reason I felt a verse from the Lord and I should tell you. And he usually doesn't, he's not super prophetic. No, I'm just kidding. And the verse said, take an example of Sarah and Abraham to follow the Lord with all your heart. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going. So, yeah, I mean, I packed up my whole life into 2 suitcases, pink ones. and and went to America with my husband. And then, do you want me to keep going, or
I
do
think
you want
it's
to
a good
involve
place to
my
pause. It's a good place to pause.
Yeah.
Wow. So go to a land I will show you, but it was like a boomerang effect.
I didn't
Come
come
again?
back to
You were
Germany.
like, sorry, come again, and so
Oh,
you
yeah.
did. Yeah. Michael, from your side, like go back as far as you want.
Yeah. Yeah, from my perspective, temptress from the Lord, right? No, from my perspective, when I was 21, I went to Bethel School of Supernatural Ministry in California. 3 years, completely changed my life. And immediately after that, I moved to South Africa here, up in KZN. I was a youth pastor up here, or down here on the underside of the world. It's upside down over here. It's weird. But I was here for 2.5 years before going back. And then I met Marika in Germany and then went back to America. That's my perspective. It can go into so much detail. There's so much detail I could go into. But I think the thing that... it's funny when you look back on your life, where you can see where God was along the way, and when you're in the middle of your life, in the middle of your circumstances, sometimes you have no idea where God was. Have any of you guys experienced this before, where you look around and you'll say, where am I going? What am I doing? I feel like I'm in the middle of nowhere, and then you look back 5-10 years, and you're like, I see a direct path where God was going here, and then here, and then here, and then here. When I was at Bethel, it was the end of 2015, so more than 10 years ago. I felt like the Lord, He showed me a vision of me traveling up and down from Europe to South Africa with 3 kids. And I was like, going up and down like this. And I was like, I don't know what this looks like. I think, God, you're going to invite me to South Africa. That's something for me in the future, and I don't know what that's going to look like. And I sat down with some friends. I was with a friend of mine, and I said, hey, we were carving turkeys to feed the poor for Thanksgiving. And I turned to him, and I said, hey, man, you know what we should do one day? We should lock ourselves in our apartment. This crazy ministry school student fun. This is what we like to do. Lock ourselves in our apartment and not eat anything for like 3 or 4 days and contend for the baptism of the Holy Spirit, right? And just don't leave until God shows up, until a mighty wind comes through and tongues of fire. Like let's just do this. And I'm like half expecting him to go, that's not how I want to spend my Christmas, Michael. But instead he went, yeah, man. He's like, let's do it. And so I get together with me and 3 German friends of mine, these 3 guys, and we lock ourselves in our apartment, in an apartment for about 3 days, and just prayed and sought the Lord's face, right? And nothing significant happened. It was really good. We felt closer to the Lord. I got really sick. I was throwing up, but it was like, it was still good. And we walked away, and out of that, my friend came to me afterward, and he goes, I have this dream. He goes, it was like a month later. He goes, I have this vision. I'm going to go back to Germany, and I'm going to plant this supernatural ministry school in the south of Germany. It's going to be amazing. And I thought, there's no way you're going to be able to do this. Like you? No way. But I said, great, man. That's awesome. Good for you, and so they were going to go do that. And then and last year, February, around this time last year, that friend came to me and he said, hey man, I was in Redding, California, just for a year. And he came in and he visited me and he said, hey, do you realize what happened? And I'm going, no, what are you talking about? He goes, the 4 of us, you, me, and our 2 other friends, like when we spent time in that apartment and we fasted and we sought the Lord, I said, yeah, what happened? He goes, afterward, now that you've come to South Africa and you're starting this school, the Monty School of Ministry, he goes, you're the last one. All 3 of us have all started separate ministry schools, and you're the 4th one, right? It's like, so two of them started together in the south of Germany. Another one is running Awakening School in Germany as well for Ben Fitzgerald up there. And then now we're starting a multi-school of ministry in South Africa. And I'm sitting there going, I don't know what's going on. The Lord didn't encounter me. I've been praying and I'm like, where is this baptism of the Holy Spirit? And little did we know that God was commissioning us to create a culture. He was commissioning us to go first and to equip hungry hearts, right? And saying, you guys are doing this in your own free time because you're hungry. He's like, that's the people I want to work with, right? And so you can look back and see, right? Just see the goodness of God in your history when in the middle of it, you have no idea what he's doing, right? And I'm like, I had no idea I was going to marry a German at that point. I'm not seeing this vision from Germany and South Africa. I didn't know I was going to South Africa at that point. I'm like, God, what is this vision? I didn't know I was going to have 3 kids, and we have 3 kids. and it's just like, it's this weird, God is in the mundane day to day, even when you can't see him. He is so there.
So, the question that I've got now for the third member of the conversation, which is all of you, no one else is going to come up, don't worry. What about you? Have you got something going on in your life right now? Maybe you are disappointed because there was an outcome that you were hoping for that doesn't seem to have presented itself. Or maybe you were hoping for a certain change of circumstances so that something else could happen, and it hasn't happened. Or maybe you, even similar to Michael and Marika, have set yourself apart for something, for God to use you in a specific way, and it feels like God is not interested. How many of you can put your hands up to one of those 3? You can put it up higher so that I can see, and you can even keep it up for a while. There's a song called Waymaker. Few of you, you're all familiar with it. Even when it seems he's not working, he's working. Even when you can't see it, even when you can't feel it, he's working. So lift your faith outside of what you thought was going to happen and expect what God is doing. And know and be comforted and be assured that he is. Okay, so say, God is working in my life. And even when I can't feel it, and even when I can't see it, he's working. So, Marika, you make it sound so easy. Well, I was 18, and this happened, and that happened, and that happened. Then I met my husband, moved to America, and now I'm here. Yeah, make it so. I had 3 kids along the way. I'm only 24 years old. 3 kids under 3 years old. And I traveled across the world. Twice. But everything's okay. That must be exactly what it's been like.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and was it that easy?
No.
I was just about to say, please, can we keep it honest?
Yes, no, it was not easy. I think sometimes I wouldn't notice that it's hard. And so Michael's friend actually moved in with us, Michael's best friend, when we first got married. And we lived close to Chicago. That's where we ended up. And Michael's friend moved in with us. And there were days where I was in the kitchen making whatever breakfast for everyone. And I was just like, Jacob, that was the friend. I don't know, I just feel so overwhelmed and it just feels unreasonable. And then he would just go, okay, Marika, here we go again. So you did this and this and this, and just counting off the things that I've been through. And sometimes I felt like my brain had to play catch up with all the things. Honestly, it's very weird sometimes because I'm 24 and I feel like I'm supposed to be 35. And I hang out with 35-year-olds or whatever. Michael is older than me.
Or whatever.
Or whatever, Ross.
I'm 35.
And I remember, like, I would constantly ask God, like, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing all this? What am I, like, why am I in America right now? I don't know. Like, the stores are so big. I cried because it's so big, and I just cried. I'm like, Michael, I can never make food again because there's so much food. And it felt like God was taking me on baby steps, but my baby steps were like marathons each. And I think, yeah, we went to America, and then we started a business. And then I had my first kid. We bought a house. And then we expanded the business. And then we were already planning to come to South Africa. So then we said, to prepare to come here, we'll go to Reading for me to do a ministry school because I never had. So I went to Bethel at Reading for a year before we came. And I felt like in Reading, God like put all the puzzle pieces together for me. Like he kind of showed me why I did the things that I did. And it literally feels like I've done them to be prepared for this season. Since Michael and I met, I was chronically very sick. When we first met, I could not walk, or barely. I walked very, very slow, and my family didn't believe that I was sick, so they were very mad at me for relaxing in my room too much when I was actually very, very sick. And that was one of the hardest parts, I think, was to be chronically sick, like very, very fatigued, and still felt like God was saying, keep going, keep going. And I was like, I'm so exhausted, like, I can't do this. And I remember renovating the Airbnb, like the second floor of our house, to be an Airbnb. And I remember like crying so much. Like I was just on the floor crying. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I was working like 12 hours a day with my daughter back then. She was a baby, so she was with me. And I remember God kept telling me, this is so that you can fund your ministry in South Africa. And like every time I would feel the Holy Spirit so strongly, he's like, just keep going, you'll see that this is my business, like this is not yours. And I think, yeah, in Reading, I realized how God has stripped everything away from my life to only be about him. And obviously, like, it hurts sometimes because I'm not close to my family. We don't have grandparents here. And we're doing it with the kids. But I feel when you let go things for God, he does replace them. He comes through all the time. And I remember him telling me, like a year before we went to Reading, he told me, I will heal you from your sickness before you get to South Africa. You won't be sick in South Africa anymore. And I was like, okay, that doesn't sound fun to me right now, but maybe later I will be healed, And I remember I was at Bethel worshiping the Lord, and I just felt a grace. I was like, God, please just heal me. This really sucks. I'm not feeling good. And next day, I was completely healed. Like, I remember at night, I would always feel sick around like 7, and then I would like pass out at like 8 or 9. I remember the next day after God healed me, I didn't even like think about it, but I was like up. It's like 10 p.m. at night. I'm like, Michael, are we doing something? Like, what are we like? I'm trying to like, I don't know, hang out with him and do things, and he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like in the mood to do something, and he's like, this is really not like you. And that's how it was. Like every night I had so much energy. and I haven't been sick since then.
I mean, it sounds like a very ordinary story. Okay, so it's a super ordinary story, but it's an ordinary person. And if we all look into our own lives, we don't necessarily, maybe we expect things of ourselves. Maybe you expect things of yourself that are just unrealistic. And the encouragement that we can draw from Marika's story is God will use you. God is interested in you. God is excited about you. And even through the difficult times, even through the confusing times. I mean, my next question was actually going to be, there must have been times that you wanted to run away, even since the 24th of June. You don't have to say anything, just nod,
Yes.
because the mic can't pick it up.
No, I mean, I would still say that South Africa, the first 6 months were the hardest season of my whole life. Because I remember I arrived and I felt like my skin was ripped off and I was completely naked and I was just in this random country. I had so many weird encounters, guys. I was like, in what country am I? Like, my domestic came to me. I'm like, can you give my kids blueberries? And she's like, what are blueberries? And I'm like, oh my gosh, where am I? People later told me that you guys do know blueberries, but I was just, I felt so naked, and everything that happened, if it was really small, it just really, really hurt. And it was really, really hard. But there was a song that God actually put on my heart since Reading when we started, when we started packing up, and it's from Mumford and Sons, and it's called Surrender, and it goes, break me down and put me back together, I surrender. And that's how I felt like. I felt like I was completely stripped and broken down. And then thank God I had Corey. I don't know if you guys know Corey, but he really helped me. And God's put me back together, and I feel like I can actually know myself now because I've been running for so long. And God was just like, hey, you can settle down here and you're actually safe. And just on what you said with that God takes ordinary people to do extraordinary things. God does that. And I wasn't anyone like super special or whatever. And it was just, if you do say yes to God and you constantly put him as your priority, he will show up. And all these, like, I know that people say it a lot, like, oh, we're distracted by money and we're distracted by jobs and stuff. But if you think about it, like what's literally in the Bible is that like there's a different kingdom that we actually are from, and the world is like a maze of distractions. At least that's what I realized. And it's like I need to consistently ask God, what do you want from me this season? And then not run for 10 years and say, this is the only thing that I'm going to do. It's like 2 months, you need to rest. 2 months, you need to run until you can't run anymore. And then you might need to rest again. Then you might need to do this. But it's like God does show up, and then you see that all of this doesn't really matter. Like, I was at Bethel and I sat in the sanctuary and I was so tired and I said, God, can someone please buy me a coffee? I was really pregnant at Bethel too. So I'm like really big. I'm like, I just need a coffee. I need to stay awake. And God's like, I can buy you a coffee. I'm like, okay, go ahead. He's like, why don't you go up, like get up and go to the coffee bar? And I'm like, I thought you were buying me a coffee. And he's like, just go. I'm like, okay. So I'm getting up with my big belly, walking to the coffee station. And I'm like, okay, God, I'm like, is someone going to come and like get me a coffee? And he's like, no, just buy it with your credit card. I'm like, how is that you buying me a coffee? And he's like, since when is your money yours? I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, I was roasted right there.
Just like the coffee.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I will buy a coffee from your money, God.
Brilliant. Yeah, give her a round of applause. So before we sat here today, I felt the Holy Spirit give me this scripture. And I think this is the moment to release it. Matthew 9, verse 35 to 38. Jesus went through all the towns and villages, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the good news of the kingdom and healing every disease and sickness. When he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them because they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field." You all know that verse. I just want you to think about exactly what Marika has just shared. Jesus went through all the towns and villages of Marika's life, and he taught in her synagogues, and he proclaimed the good news of the kingdom and healed every disease and sickness. Then he saw the crowds, the distractions, the fragmentation, the struggle, and he had compassion on her because in those areas she was harassed, maybe like a sheep without a shepherd. But he came, and now you are here, and you are representing that exact same Jesus. So the message of your life is not just words, but it's life. And we just want to say, we receive you. We receive you. We recognize all that he is and all that you are, and all that you are together. You're a gift to us. You're an encouragement to us. You're a sister to us. You're a friend to us. I personally I can't say enough about that. I'm sure Michelle feels exactly the same. So we just want to just put your hands out, just because it helps you to focus. And just say, Marika, we cover you. We bless you. We receive you. And we're excited for all that God is doing. Okay. Michael, I just want to say, as a testimony, when Michael came here, I experienced the love of Jesus in a way I'd never experienced it before. See, he battles to hear that. He's like, you mean even after all those cruel jokes? Well, it was before the cruel jokes, actually. But when you came, you preached a message not long after you got here. I think it was about a month or month and a half after you got here. And the title of the message was, "Do you really believe what you believe you believe?" Do you remember that? And I remember during that message, it was as if Jesus, the gardener, brought a spade upon my heart. I might have shared this before, actually. You know, not the shovels, not the ones that are like made for scooping soil, but the sharp ones that you'd like use to cut away weed and overgrowth and just an untidy garden. My heart was the untidy garden. And the spade was love. Does that make sense? And so I just recognize the man that you are, the brother that you are, the friend that you are. And anybody who knows you loves you. That's what I declare over your life. Anybody who knows you loves you. You bring humor, you bring intelligence, you bring quirks. I can't even share some of them with you because they're just so on the edge. But I love the way you challenge me, I love the way you stretch my thinking, and you are here. Through all of those journeys and adventures, you've ended up here. Just tell us a little bit. I mean, this verse has really stood out to me as I was contemplating the harvest. Do you want to just discuss what was the harvest that was the joy set before you that caused you to end up here? What is the harvest?
Can you elaborate a little more for me so I fully understand what you're asking?
So you came here for a reason.
Yeah.
And there is a harvest as in something that must become in order for this vision, for this journey to be rewarded. What is the reward?
Yeah, okay. I think I'm understanding you better now. Thanks, Ross. Ross speaks in metaphors.
I often have to repeat myself before people actually hear me.
No, it's helpful. I love it. I know, I love the way you communicate, by the way. I was not trying to criticize you
I'm
at
just
all.
so glad you said that because I was actually getting hurt and humiliated.
You're great. You're absolutely wonderful. For me coming down here, I feel like when God invites you somewhere, he's only good, right? He's only kind, right? He's nothing but kind. He's nothing but good, right? If it isn't kind, it isn't him, right? And it might not be kind in the way that you see it, but it's kindness. He only acts out of his kindness. And so when you understand the nature of God, requests and invitations are all gifts. Commands are all gifts. He's not asking anything from you. He's giving to you, right? For God so loved that he gave, right? His goal as a father is to give lavishly. And so when he makes a request or an invitation, and so for me, he said, hey, we had a couple offers on the table of what we're going to do with our life. And one of them was come down to South Africa and start the school. And it was not the worldly success offer. It was not the one that was very flashy or anything, but baked into the offer and baked into the invitation was a deeper intimacy with him. He said, if you do this one, you'll be closer to me. Oh man, there's nothing worth more than that. You have my yes every time if I get to be closer to you, God. What is the harvest when we arrive down here? What is the harvest in South Africa? What does success look like? Honestly, the story of my life is God asking for a yes without showing the next step. And then you say yes. And then you move forward into a new land, and then he says, hey, here's another door. You don't know what's behind the other door. Will you go through it? Is there a yes? Do I have a yes from you? And you say yes, and he opens the door, and you go through. And before you know it, like, your life looks completely different than how you thought it would look. Because constantly you're saying, yes, God, I'm saying yes to one offer, to another offer. And success down here, it's looked like us coming and saying yes to come down here. Not fully knowing what success looks like down here. Not fully knowing what success looks like away from our families. For us, I came down here saying, yes, I'll go to South Africa, knowing there'd be another yes coming, another invitation coming. And I think that if we're looking to measure our success by some kind of metric, saying, I've seen this many souls saved, or we started a school and it now has this many students, which is really tempting to do, to try to create a metric to define success. You're not partnering with the heart of the Lord, right? The Apostle Paul says, I long to go to heaven, and he says, I long to depart and be with Jesus, for that is far better. And he says, to stand before Jesus, and he will say, well done, my good and faithful servant. Faithfulness, right? Well done, my good and faithful servant. He didn't say, well done, my good evangelistic servant, right? Well done, my good worship leading servant. My good apostolic, church planting, church going, family raising servant. It's like none of these are bad things, but he said, well done, my good and faithful servant. And I feel like what God is looking for when Jesus says, when I come back, will I find faith on the earth, right? He's looking for faithfulness. And so success for us looks like continuing to stay faithful and soft and saying yes to him. And if we're saying yes to him, I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't. But that's where I want to be. That's where I have my sights set, is am I still saying yes? Am I still saying yes? Am I still saying yes when it doesn't make sense? Am I still saying yes when it's not adding up? 2 + 2 does not equal 4. when I'm seeing I have certain promises and they're being delayed or denied, or I'm not seeing the results. And it's like if I'm finding success in that, then I'm off. And like I want my success to be in, am I still saying yes to God? Because he's the one who says, well done, good and faithful servant. I'm not the one who comes and says, look, I did it. I'm not holding up a resume saying, I did it. He's the one saying, hey, you have been faithful, right? Does that answer your question for the harvest?
I don't know if it's an answer or if I just lie down here and soak for a while.
Can I say something really quick? No, I forgot. And I think I just also want to encourage you guys. Oftentimes, laying down things to follow the Lord doesn't look like, oh, I'm so small, I'm going to be humble, like I'm going to be faithful and like stack the chairs every day at church and stuff. Like there's a place for that. But I've noticed in my life and the people around me, God consistently lifting me and other people to a higher standard and saying, are you going to be faithful and trust me that I have put something inside of you that will impact lives and that will impact you? Will you trust me that you can actually be a big person and you don't have to be small? And I feel like that's something that we fall into quickly is, oh, I will just live my life and I will just fit in and serve the Lord from there. And I think it's good. But I felt when Michael was speaking, I felt to just remind you that God has put something very special in you. That doesn't mean that you have to consistently run in your life and exhaust yourself. But it means to consistently go, okay, here I am, God, use me. And I trust that you've made me wonderful. And I trust that you've made me great, actually. And that I'm not just like running behind you, but that you actually invite me to run alongside you. And the only reason why you need to let go of things is because God is so holy that he can't run next to you if you're going to keep holding on to things. There's no space next to him for the things that you're holding on to. So if you actually want to be as close and as intimate with him as possible, you'll have to let go of the things that temptations or things that you feel that are more important or things that you don't understand, or God, I haven't been healed for this many years, what's going on? To let actually those things go and say, I will walk next to you without these things attached to me because I trust you and because I trust that you've made me who I need to be for the next season that you're going to put me into.
So, I mean, if we have to really just summarize that whole thing is, the reason you came was because you decided that the answer was yes. And the reason you haven't run away is because you decided that the answer is still yes. And we've got something really exciting happening tomorrow. Do you want to just discuss a little bit about what that yes is actually manifesting as tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow is day one of a Monty School of Ministry. It is the launching day. Guys, this has been, Corne, when did you first have a dream for a school here? 2011? Yeah, 14, 15 years. This has been 15 years of dreaming and planning. That was when the name was decided. That was when the name first came up, that it would be Imonti. And we've been on board fully since 2023, around July, August of 2023. We fully committed to this. So we've been directing our life toward tomorrow for 2.5 years now. And it is a fulfillment of dreams. It's a fulfillment of promises. It feels like a baby being born. Feels like it's been gestating, and we've been like, okay, here we go. It's time for this baby to be born. And
Long pregnancy, guys. 2.5 years.
yeah, and we're very, very, very excited to be a part of what God is doing here in the Eastern Cape and here in East London. Feel like He has been doing something, and He's finally going, okay, now it's time for this school to start. I'm ready for an increase. It feels like not the start of what God is doing, but it feels like a key development in what He has been doing, and we're so honored to be here and a part of it.
Well, I mean, we are really honored that you are here, and not just here, but that your hearts have been knitted into ours. And I just want to encourage all of you, if you don't know Michael and Marika, get to know them. If you don't know each other, get to know each other. This is about hearts being knitted together. This is not about coming to church. This is not about doing ministry. It's not about doing church. It's about being together. And you can't be together if you are an island. So connect. Not in an administrative sense, connect from the heart. And so we just want to honor you, not just for why you've come, but for who you are and for who you've become amongst us. You are part of us, and that matters to us far more than the school as an organization, more than ministry, more than service, more than performance, more than quantitative harvests. What matters is who you are amongst us. And so we bless you, and we just want to gather around you and release you into this wonderful work of God. But we are all sharers in it. So that's the exciting thing. We are all sharers. So we want to gather around you and pray and cover you and just in anticipation see what God is about to do.